Be careful. The Silk Picture. The universe lords of the 9 great factions who had been fighting each other were completely stunned by Lord Yuan Ao's self-destruction. That 1 million kilometers tall god body exploded, causing the boundless energy to explode in an instant. The boundless force was like a supernova exploding with trillions of times more power. It destroyed everything in its path. Ping ping ping. In the distance, a few huge space shards that were flying at high speeds immediately became particles. The surrounding space also became particles. And the universe lords of the 9 powers all used all their strength, either using their pinnacle domain treasures or burning their god energies to form a huge barrier. Block it. We can't let that shockwave destroy the Silk Picture. Even the creator of Dark Yin used all his strength to control space, suppressing and blocking the shockwave. The center of the explosion was extremely frightening. The creator of Dark Yin, who had been fighting against the Lord of Yuan Ao, was naturally hit the hardest, but with the protection of an ultimate treasure, the creator of Dark Yin stood in the void and was only pushed back a few kilometers by the shockwave. He was not harmed at all, and the peak ceiling treasure, the Iceberg Palace, which was also very close to the Lord of Yuan Ao, was also sent flying by the shockwave. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The shockwave flew a long distance and crashed into the combined defense of the 9 universe lords. At this time, the shockwave's power had weakened by quite a bit. However, it still made the 9 universe lords feel a lot of pressure. This was because not only did they have to protect their bodies, they also had to defend against the distant shards of the Silk Picture. Even with a layer of defense, the shockwave that passed through still caused the space to shatter into countless particles. The shards of the Silk Picture floated within. Because of the shockwave, the shards were sent flying in all directions. After a while, the shockwave completely dissipated. We finally blocked it. Phew, even if that Lord Yuan Ao dies, he won't let us have it easy. That shockwave, if not for so many universe lords working together, I'm afraid some of the shards in the distance would have been turned to dust. Luckily. With a glance, the surrounding 10 billion kilometers was filled with countless particles, almost like boiling sand slowly moving. These countless particles were the most basic structure of space. Very quickly, these particles began to condense. LuoFeng let out a sigh of relief after blocking the shockwave. LuoFeng, there are 2 very large pieces of the Silk Picture floating towards you. A god energy transmission suddenly resounded in his mind. Ah. LuoFeng's endless blurry golden light enveloped his surroundings and immediately noticed the 2 pieces. He turned to look behind him. Tens of millions of km away, there were 2 pieces floating closer to each other. These 2 pieces were obviously much bigger, even the smaller one was more than twice the size of the one he had before. The larger ones were more than 3 times the amount he had obtained previously. It's mine. LuoFeng became a beam of light and flew over. Don't fight with me for it. An angry roar came from afar through the divine power. That's mine. LuoFeng glanced. In the distance, the huge black heavenly wolf also quickly flew over. At the same time, it roared at the others who wanted to snatch it. Humph, heavenly wolf, you want to fight with me? The tall and sturdy flaming emperor wielded a huge flame god halberd and emitted boundless killing intent. He scanned the surroundings and stared coldly at LuoFeng. He communicated, my 3rd junior, you got the picture shard last time. This time, don't even think about it. Ah, I haven't even gotten a single piece yet. The huge bone-winged Yunnan leader laughed loudly. Then we'll see how strong you are. LuoFeng said coldly. At this time, the ones closest to these 2 enormous pieces were Flame Emperor, LuoFeng, Yunnan leader and Heavenly Wolf leader. Of which, Flame Emperor and LuoFeng had fought over the pieces before, hence they were very close to each other. Other than the 4 of them, there were 2 more universe lords nearing. These were the Ice Peak leader and the Netherworld leader. Obviously these 2 pieces were very close to each other. Along with the large area, these 2 were equivalent to 6 or 7 smaller pieces. Naturally, everyone was fighting over them. LuoFeng, I'll help you. The Ice Peak leader became a beam of light and swiftly flew over. Heavenly Wolf, let's go all out. The Netherworld leader too swiftly rushed over. It was crazy. The 6 universe lords were either close or far away. They all looked at the 2 enormous pieces passionately. Not good. LuoFeng's expression changed. Yunnan leader's flying speed was terrifyingly fast. As he flapped his wings, he became a gust of wind and swiftly flew over. He was the fastest amongst them. LuoFeng used the Golden Country to suppress him. However, he was only blocked by the black mist around Yunnan leader. The distance between the 2 was relatively far. 9 Ming River couldn't even reach them. Senior uncle, do you have any domain treasures? LuoFeng communicated. Yes. The Ice Peak leader said. Senior uncle, your domain treasure and my Golden Country will work together to block them all. LuoFeng said. All right. Hua hua. Endless white mist immediately spread in all directions. Within the mist were countless ice crystals. The white mist was covered in a blurry golden light. The 2 simultaneously blocked the others. As the saying goes, when one's strength was applied, it caused the black mist around Yunnan leader to crumble. Haha, LuoFeng, your wings treasure is really powerful. Its control over the universe space is so strong. Combined with my pinnacle domain treasure, Cold Mist World, it can even compete with pinnacle domain treasures. The Ice Peak leader was usually very solitary. However, at this moment he was rarely this excited. These 2 pieces belonged to the human race. LuoFeng was excited too. Bastard. Flame Emperor was the first to roar. The endless white mist and the blurry golden light formed two layers of resistance. It caused the already slowed down Flame Emperor's speed. Flame Emperor gritted his teeth. However, he could only swallow his rage. He looked at Luo Feng from afar and roared, "My third junior, you win this time." Rumble. Flame Emperor turned and flew in another direction. Since he knew he couldn't get it, he naturally didn't waste any more time. Seizing the time to fight for the other pieces was the most important thing. Haha, Milky Way leader, respect, respect. Looks like these two pieces are going to fall into your human hands. I'm not fighting anymore. Yuan leader also realized his speed was too slow under the resistance. Knowing there was no hope, he immediately laughed and became a beam of light and left. Both sides chose to leave, leaving only the demon race and the human race to fight for the two pieces. Human Luo Feng. Black Skywolf stared at Luo Feng. Back then you were just a punk. In the blink of an eye you've become so strong. However, compared to the demon race, you humans are still too immature. Rumble. Illusory rainbow-colored threads suddenly appeared in the endless void, spreading out in all directions and directly colliding with the white mist. The white mist was immediately suppressed and quickly retreated. Even with the help of the Golden Country, even though it didn't collapse from the impact, it was still pushed back. In the distance, the Ice Peak leader's expression was ugly. Dream Ancestor Domain. Luo Feng's expression changed. Dream Ancestor Domain. Demon Ancestor Dream was one of the strongest in the two universes of the demon race. The treasures she used were naturally extremely famous. There were at least a few treasures that were famous and were used to attract others. Of which, the Pinnacle Domain treasure Dream Ancestor Domain was one of them. There's actually a Dream Ancestor Domain. Luo Feng was anxious. This is troublesome. The combination of the Golden Country and the Cold Mist World could barely compare to a Pinnacle Domain treasure. However, compared to the Dream Ancestor Domain, it was obviously at a disadvantage. My god energy isn't strong enough. If I become a Universe Lord, my god energy will be even stronger. The Golden Kingdom would naturally be stronger and it would be paired with the Cold Mist World. Together with the Cold Mist World, it will be comparable to the Dream Ancestor Domain. Luo Feng was very unwilling. However, there was nothing he could do. There's still hope. The Ice Peak leader communicated. However, hua hua hua. That ugly demon leader suddenly screamed. Immediately, black vines shot out of his body. In an instant, the sky and land were covered with black vines. A total of 81 vines immediately shot through the sky, crossing tens of millions of km and surrounding Luo Feng. Demon Island Vine. Luo Feng's expression immediately became ugly. There's actually a Demon Island Vine. The Ice Peak leader raged too. The Demon Island Vine was also one of Demon Ancestor Dream's signature treasures. It was a Spirit Reader Path's Pinnacle Attack treasure. Pinnacle Attack treasures, in theory they were the least valuable of the Pinnacle treasures. However, even among the Pinnacle treasures, there was still a huge difference between them. Just like the Calamity Armor, it was considered a Pinnacle treasure amongst the treasures. And the weaker Pinnacle treasures could only weaken it by 1/10, 000. The Demon Island Vine was the same. Its value was extremely high. It could be condensed into one and used like a long whip. It could also be completely separated and used to restrain enemies. Even though it could break, the broken parts could swiftly reform back into one. Haha, the other powers have sent Universe Lords. Our demon race has sent the weakest Universe Lords. We don't even have a Universe Lord at the pinnacle. The Sky Wolf leader communicated, incomparably arrogant. Haha, our demon race, within the 6 pinnacle races, we are the strongest. How can we send the weakest for this mission? The two of us have only appeared to show our weakness. Only at the critical moment will we use our trump cards. Demon Ancestor Dream gave us the Dream Ancestor Domain and the Demon Island Vine. Whether it's escaping, trapping or stealing treasures, these are our trump cards. Haha, we've hidden these trump cards. You guys don't know about it. You won't be on your guard. That's how we can take advantage of you. If we let you guys know about it and even team up against us, we won't be able to take advantage of you. These 2 larger pieces of the picture are enough for us to truly attack. The Sky Wolf leader was extremely proud. The 81 black vines stretched across the sky, swaying in the void. Luo Feng's speed immediately decreased. Even the distant Ice Peak leader stopped. Bastard. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. The Ice Peak leader's expression too was covered in a layer of frost. The two of them understood that they had been tricked by the demon race. Luo Feng looked at the 2 pieces of the picture floating in the distance, and at the 81 black vines that were swaying and emitting immense pressure. He was filled with hatred. Even if I unleash I Am the Universe, along with the Golden Country and the Cold Mist World, I can probably only suppress the Dream Ancestor Domain. Those Demon Island vines can still trap me. 1 versus 1. Even if the Sky Wolf leader had the Dream Ancestor Domain, he would still dare to give it a try. However, the Demon Island Vine and the Dream Ancestor Domain, these 2 pinnacle treasures combined, indeed left him helpless. Luo Feng, let's go and snatch the other pieces. The Ice Peak leader however was very direct, giving up immediately. Luo Feng nodded, looking unwillingly at the distant pieces, after which he became a beam of light and left. Haha. Black Sky Wolf flew towards the 2 pieces, feeling incredibly carefree. Human Luo Feng, haha, just your human race and you want to compete with our demon race, what a joke. Back then you were so arrogant when you were weak. Now that you've become a Universe Lord, you still can't beat me. Sky Wolf, there are more pieces in the distance, I'll head over. The Ghost Lord communicated. The other pieces have been split up and most of them aren't too big, they aren't worth our combined efforts. Let's split up for now and snatch the pieces separately, we might get more. Skywolf swiftly agreed. Luo Feng and the Ice Peak leader quickly split up too, going to fight for the pieces. After all, there were only about 20 Universe Lords, and there were more pieces than the Universe Lords. With 2 Universe Lords working together, even though the chances of getting the pieces were much higher, they would lose a lot of chances. Unless it was like before where they could get 6 or 7 pieces at once, they wouldn't have to team up. It's mine. Ice Peak, I'll let you have this. Haha, 9 Underworld Lord, you're still trying to snatch it? Without a domain treasure, how can you beat us? The fighting was incomparably crazy. Nearly 20 lords of the universe from the 9 great factions unleashed their power in this space layer. Some were extremely strong like the Ice Peak Lord, the ZZ Devil Lord and others, while others had extremely powerful treasures like the Nether Devil Lord, the Heavenly Wolf Lord, the Black Lotus Lord and others. For the universe. Luo Feng used I Am the Universe twice during the process of fighting for the string picture, going all out. But even after casting I Am the Universe twice, he only obtained a fragment of the string painting once. One could imagine the intensity of the competition. When the Universe Lords of the 9 great forces unleashed their respective powers and frantically fought over the string painting fragments. In the distant void, the creator of Black Yin's huge flaming palm grabbed the Black Divine Tree. I've got the mystical item. The creator of Dark Yin's voice was low and powerful. His flaming head turned slightly and looked at the chaotic battle in the void. Previously, because Lord of Yuan Arcana had been running for his life, he, the creator of Black Yin, had been chasing after him, causing Lord of Yuan Arcana's explosion to be very far away from the location of the string diagram fragment. I thought I'd have to pay a price to get it. I've even prepared to give some treasures to the 9 forces. I didn't think that I would be able to obtain such a rare item so easily. The creator of Black Yin glanced around. In the distant void, a huge spatial fragment was flying at high speed, colliding with a huge shield, causing the shield to tumble and fly everywhere. Shield. Round hammer. Holy Grail. Grey armor. Treasure after treasure flew in all directions in the void. The power of Lord of Yuan Arcana's self-destruction was too terrifying. Even his world ring had been shattered, and some ordinary materials had been turned into nothingness. Only a few precious treasures had been able to survive that impact. Many treasures flew in all directions, and because of the collision of the spatial fragments, they were also sent flying in all directions. I've got the mystical item. My goal has been achieved. The creator of Black Yin looked at the chaotic battle in the distance. These treasures are scattered in all directions. Even if I go to grab them, just flying will take a long time. At most, I'll get 1 or 2. To me, it's enough to have a defensive treasure and an offensive mystical divine tree. As for the treasures scattered in all directions, it'll take a while to fly. Let them fight for them. Time to go. Wah. The golden flaming figure tore through the void and disappeared into the endless spatial turbulence. There were only so many fragments. Close to 20 universe lords from the 9 great powers of the primal universe fought with all their might. In a short while they were all gone. Those who were strong and had powerful treasures like the Chi Demon Lord and the Golden Horn Lord naturally had a huge advantage. Even Luo Feng with his control of space and time had a small advantage. Luo Feng himself didn't get much, only 2. However, he used the Golden Country to help the already strong Ice Peak leader. After all, the Golden Country's area of effect was huge. No matter where the Ice Peak leader fought, he would receive the Golden Country's help. Naturally he was invincible. Haha, our rewards this time are not small. The Ice Peak leader communicated. However, I have to thank you, Luo Feng. With the help of your Golden Country, along with my top-grade domain treasures and my own strength, I've gotten about the same amount as the Chi Demon Lord, a total of 5. Including your 2, our human race has gotten a total of 7. Not bad. It's a pity that the 2 pieces the demon race got this time were huge. What a pity. This time, the 9 great powers got different amounts. The most was actually the Space Beast Alliance with a total of 10. The least was the 9 Regions Alliance with only 3. Of course one couldn't judge it that way. Because the pieces came in different sizes. Maybe one large piece could match up to a few smaller pieces. Just like the demon race's Sky Wolf leader and the Netherworld Demon Lord, they only had 5 pieces. However, if their pieces were combined, the area wouldn't be any smaller than the Space Beasts. Space Beast Alliance has the Golden Horn leader. Prison Clan has the Chi Demon Lord. Humans have the Ice Peak leader with the Golden Light. The demon race actually brought 2 of Dream Demon Ancestor's powerful treasures. The 4 of them have gotten more than half. Each side probably has about 1/6 of it. The Universe Lords had a clear grasp of the battlefield. They were also clear on how much each side had gotten. And this exchange made them realize the capabilities of the human Luo Feng. The endless golden light actually controls space and time. It's even stronger than the Universe Lord's control of space and time. And that endless golden light seemed to come from the 4 silver wings. This wing treasure may be slightly weaker than a pinnacle domain treasure, but it can actually control space and time. That's unbelievable. In terms of value, it's definitely comparable to a pinnacle domain treasure. Humph, without that golden space domain, how could the Ice Peak leader get so many pieces? Envy. Sky Wolf leader and the other Universe Lords were envious, but they couldn't do anything about it. Luo Feng had killed over 6,000 knights from the 3 great alliances, and they all ended up with nothing. Mountain Passenger is really biased. He only gave me the soul and flame god halberd, and that calamity armor was only lent to me to use. Finally when Luo Feng was born he still gave it to him. In the distance, the Flame Emperor was filled with hatred. Mountain Passenger even gave the absolute treasure Star Pagoda to Luo Feng. I already knew about the calamity armor and the Star Pagoda, however, this winged treasure that can control space and time is so rare and unique, only Mountain Passenger could take it out. And he actually gave it to Luo Feng too. This is simply too biased. Just wait, even if I don't get as much as you, I'll still step on you. Even one day I'll reach the level of the Ancestor and step on Mountain Passenger too. In the entire universe I'll dominate the universe. See, I'll be the only one. Flame Emperor's rage and hatred filled his heart. There's a treasure in the distance. It's the treasure left behind by the Yuan mysterious Lord's self-destruction. The creator of the Dark Universe actually left? Quick treasure. One of the strongest experts in the universe was a lone traveler. He had no worries and he had a powerful protective treasure as well as the mystical divine wood. Maybe to the creator of the Dark Universe, the only thing that could attract him was the ultimate treasure. Like the treasures left behind by the Yuan mysterious Lord, the creator of the Dark Universe didn't really care about them. Just like Mountain Passenger who directly gave large amounts of treasures to his disciples. What? He had enough for himself, he had no ties, naturally he didn't need them. Even if he had more he would just keep them in his treasure trove and never see the light of day. On the contrary, people like the Star Ancestor and the creator of the huge axe had responsibilities to their race, hence they valued the other treasures. So, one by one the lords of the universe flew off in different directions. The Lord of Yuan Arcane had left behind many treasures after his death, but because the power of his divine body's self-detonation was too great, the treasures were sent flying in different directions. They were now extremely far away from each other. Hence the universe lords could only choose one target. Sand Cup. Luo Feng immediately locked onto the Saint Grail. That Saint Grail, its name was Sand Cup, also known as the Flame Sand Cup. It was one of the Yuan mysterious Lord's top domain treasures. The flame domain he released earlier relied on this cup. That armor, shield, battle hammer etc. are useless against me. I'll unleash the Golden Country now if I have a top-level domain treasure to work with. Along with the miniature universe, even the top-level domain treasures can suppress me. Luo Feng naturally had to get it. At this time, in another direction, Skywolf Leader was also swiftly flying over. Rumble. Skywolf Leader, Golden Horn Leader, Black Lotus Leader and others with top-level domain treasures, all unleashed them at this time, clashing with each other from afar. LuoFeng's endless gold light too completely enveloped them, however it didn't clash with them at all. The other universe lords couldn't control space and time, nor could they unleash their domains, they couldn't even discern the positions of the distant treasures. That's mine. Skywolf Leader swiftly flew over. Luo Feng too swiftly flew over. The two of them controlled the flame sand cup from afar to move towards them. However, Skywolf Leader's domain treasure was obviously stronger. Shio. Luo Feng and Skywolf Leader got closer and closer. When he was about 100 million kilometers away from the sand cup, and within that 100 million kilometers, only he and Skywolf Leader were left, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The fight for the treasure is about to end. This sand cup must be in my hands. I am the universe. With the golden horned beast's godly energy replenishment, his earth body was still at its peak condition. Rumble, the endless space immediately darkened. Chaos energy rippled out. Within this 100 million kilometers diameter miniature universe, there were only two life forms. Luo Feng and Skywolf Leader. It's that small primal chaos world? Skywolf Leader was shocked. This trip had been very smooth for him, and he'd acquired many pieces of the silk picture. Finally, this top-level domain treasure would be even more perfect. However, seeing the endless chaos energy, he knew it was Luo Feng's strongest technique. Haha, human Luo Feng, just you alone, you want to fight with me? The black sky wolf flew within the endless chaos energy. His voice however caused the surrounding chaos energy to disperse. Luo Feng looked at the distant sky wolf leader. Back then he didn't even have the ability to resist the sky wolf leader. However now, in terms of willpower, techniques and treasures, he was definitely on par with the universe lords. Even though his divine body was slightly inferior, his supreme treasures made him fearless against any of the masters of the universe. Humph, that Yuan Ao leader has the godly wood, he can't do anything to me. Luo Feng thought, Skywolf leader, amongst the 19 beings from the 9 powers he's completely at the bottom. In terms of true strength he can't even compare to Flame Emperor and the others. He only has one more dream ancestor domain. With the miniature universe, Golden Country and 9 River, I can completely suppress him. My body is slightly weaker now, I can't beat some of the stronger universe lords. However, a mere Sky Wolf leader. Luo Feng didn't even consider the Sky Wolf leader as a terrifying opponent. Aha, you want to fight me with this small primal chaos world? Demon Ancestor Dream bestowed upon me a supreme treasure. I'll show you the power of this supreme treasure. Lord Skywolf roared, get out of my way. Rumble. Countless colored threads formed a dream world that charged in all directions, directly crashing into Luo Feng's miniature world universe. However, this miniature universe used up 10% of that huge god's body and was instantly formed using his strongest technique. How could it be broken so easily? Skywolf leader, you only have this dream ancestor domain. Watch me destroy it, let's see how you fight me. Luo Feng roared. Wah 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 wah. Endless golden river surged out and spread out. Haha, the Dream Ancestor Domain is a pinnacle domain treasure you want to— Skywolf leader was shocked. In the distance, the dreamy colored world and the golden river began to clash. With the golden country and miniature universe's help, the golden river was simply unstoppable. Ping ping ping. The dream world was like a huge starfield, expanding time and time again, only to be forced back by the golden river. Impossible, this is Dream Ancestor Demon's treasure, it can't lose, break break break. Skywolf leader's eyes gleamed fiercely. The Dream Progenitor Domain's illusory domain clashed again and again, but it was defeated again and again, causing its range to shrink. Haha, you've lost for sure, it's useless. Luo Feng laughed loudly. The combination of the Golden Kingdom and the Ice Peak Lord's frigid mist realm was comparable to an ordinary domain-type treasure, only slightly weaker than the Dream Progenitor realm. The miniaturized universe was stronger than the Cold Mist realm. Miniature universe, Golden Kingdom, 9 Darkness River. 3 layers stacked on top of each other. Of course, the 9 Darkness River had the least effect, but it was still slightly stronger than the Dream Progenitor territory. Trapped. Luo Feng roared. The distance between him and the Lord of the Heavenly Wolf was not very far, and he was completely within the range of the Ming River, a radius of 30 million kilometers. The Golden River was like a giant egg, wrapping around the Lord of the Heavenly Wolf. The Dream Progenitor Domain surrounded Lord Skywolf like an egg yolk. How is this possible? The Dream Progenitor realm is at a disadvantage. Lord Sirius was shocked. As soon as he unleashed his miniature universe, the Golden Kingdom and the 9 Netherworld River, he immediately suppressed Lord Skywolf. However, Luo Feng was immediately faced with a choice. The miniature universe can only last 9 seconds at a time. Even if I fly at light speed, 9 seconds is only a few million kilometers. I'm currently about 18 million kilometers away from the Skywolf leader, and close to 100 million kilometers away from the Flame Sand Cup. Just by flying, I won't be able to reach the Skywolf leader, and I won't be able to get the Flame Sand Cup. I can only rely on the Masha clansman. The Masha clansman could teleport hundreds of times per second, reaching a speed of a few million km per second. Close to 100 million kilometers, he estimated it would take about 30 seconds. 18 million kilometers, he estimated it would take about 5 seconds. I'm already at the end anyway. Getting the Flame Sand Cup is the most important thing. Luo Feng didn't dare take the risk. With a thought, the Masha clansman appeared. So, illusions appeared in the Golden River. The Masha clone used its maximum speed, moving 400 times per second. It only took 24 seconds to reach the Flame Sand Cup. The Flame Sand Cup was a translucent, strangely shaped cup. There was a large amount of sand in the cup, and the sand had a faint flame glow. The Masha clansman grabbed the Flame Sand Cup and immediately kept it in the world ring. After which it immediately unleashed its natural talent domain to rush towards his main body, spending another 24 seconds before reaching his Earth body and entering the world ring. Haha. Luo Feng laughed. As he had to constantly maintain I am the universe, he couldn't enter the world ring himself, causing the Masha clansman to have to go back and forth. Every 9 seconds of maintaining the miniature universe consumed 10% of his god body. This round trip used up 60% of his god body, plus the 2 times he used it to fight for the string picture, it used up another 20%. Luckily it was all replenished by the Golden Horned Beast, hence his Earth body was still able to maintain his peak condition. However, the Golden Horned Beast was already in an extremely weak state. Luo Feng had returned to his god country after his battle with the Yuan Ao Lord, replenishing his god energy. Damn it. His god body was surrounded by the Dream Light Domain. The Black Sky Wolf charged and broke through the layers of golden waves. However, after 10 seconds, it could only watch as the treasure entered Luo Feng's hands. Even though it struggled with all its might, the golden waves were too wide, plus the golden country and the miniature universe's support, it wasted the 10 seconds just like that. Wah. The miniaturized universe disappeared without a trace. Skywolf leader, last time you had the help of the Netherworld Lord to steal the string picture. This time you alone want to fight me, Luo Feng? You're still lacking. If I didn't have the Dream Ancestor Domain, today I would have beaten you to the point of hiding in the Skywolf Palace. Luo Feng laughed loudly, his laughter made the Skywolf leader roar furiously. Human Luo Feng, how long have you trained and you dare compete with me? You've trained for so long and you've been suppressed by me, not only are you not ashamed, you're even proud. Ah. Luo Feng's wings flapped, simultaneously releasing the space lock and swiftly flying into the distance. The Black Sky Wolf floated in midair and watched, gritting his teeth. Damn it. Universe Lords, unless the difference in strength was huge, it was very hard to kill their opponents, hence they valued their reputation more. From the Sky Wolf leader's point of view, when he and the Netherworld Lord suddenly unleashed the 2 heaven-defying treasures, the Dream Ancestor Domain and Demon Island Vine, it was natural for them to steal the 2 pieces of the string picture. And earlier, with the Dream Ancestor Domain in hand, he actually lost to Luo Feng in a one-on-one fight for the Flame Sand Cup. It was like Luo Feng slapped him hard in the face. It was a huge humiliation. That human punk from back then, he actually dared to follow me, and follow me. The Skywolf leader thought about it. Due to the special circumstances, he was given the Dream Ancestor Domain. When he returned, he would have to give it to the Dream Demon Ancestor. Even with the Dream Ancestor Domain, he was suppressed. If he didn't have it, the more he thought about it, the more embarrassed he got. If I knew earlier, I would have killed him the first time I met him. The Skywolf leader gritted his teeth, Suddenly he saw the distant Netherworld Lord looking over. I'm coming. The Skywolf leader immediately teleported and rushed over. When Luo Feng removed the space lock earlier, the Skywolf leader naturally removed the space lock too, hence he could teleport. This battle, including the creator of Dark Universe and the Universe Lords of the Nine Great Powers, maybe some were angry, unbalanced, and felt that they were at a disadvantage compared to the other warriors. But on the whole, it could be said that they had gained a great advantage. Every one of them had something to gain. The truly unlucky one was naturally the Yuan Ao Lord who self-destructed. Luo Feng and the Ice Peak Lord met. Haha, I looked from afar, it seemed like the Skywolf leader was at a disadvantage. You got the advantage? The Ice Peak Lord laughed. I was lucky I got the Flame Sand Cup. Luo Feng smiled. Flame Sand Cup. The Ice Peak Lord's eyes gleamed, praising, Luo Feng powerful. The Flame Sand Cup is a top-level domain treasure. Every one of them is extremely valuable, like that Sword River Luo. Its parts are scattered everywhere, just collecting them takes a lot of effort. For example, your teacher, the Lord of the Galaxy. There are many famous universe lords in the universe who use top-grade domain-type treasures. Luo Feng nodded. Just like this teacher before him, he too used a top-level domain treasure. This time, the main reason is because the various powers have gathered and fought over it, hence many of them have top-level domain treasures. The Ice Peak Lord said, actually most of those don't belong to them, they're all temporarily lent by the strongest of the universe. You've only been a universe lord for a short period of time, however with treasures, even many universe lords can't compare to you. Luo Feng smiled. Like the Skywolf leader, he too only used top-level treasures. The Skywolf Palace too only had high-level flying palace treasures, comparable to several top-level weapons. Your wings, weapons, armor, Flame Sand Cup, they're all extraordinary. The Ice Peak Lord praised, they're only slightly weaker than your teacher's level. During the conversation, the two had already broken through space and returned to the Yuan mysterious region. In the distance, 3 silhouettes flashed over. It was the 9 Underworld Lord, Yunnan Lord and the Dark Python Lord. Luo Feng, shall we make a trip to the Ancestral God Sect? The 9 Underworld Lord flew over and said from afar. 9 Underworld Lord, I've already reported to the Ancestral God. This mission has been completed. Since the Ancestral God already knows, there's no need for me to rush over. Luo Feng smiled, I still have to make a trip back to the human domain. Milky Way Lord, then we'll part ways here. Yunnan Lord and the Dark Python Lord stood beside the 9 Underworld Lord. The gold light shone and the 9 Underworld Lord, Yunnan Lord and the Dark Python Lord all flew into the light and vanished. Teacher, let's go too. Luo Feng turned to look at the Ice Peak Lord. The Ice Peak Lord nodded. Very quickly the jade green light shone and Luo Feng and the Ice Peak Lord teleported through the God Country and swiftly left, returning to the human domain. This mission, everyone benefited, only Yuan Ao Lord fell. After Luo Feng and the Ice Peak Lord returned to the human domain, they quickly connected to the virtual universe and reported everything to the Primal Chaos City leader.